Yesterday, a mother asked me, "My teenage daughter has changed. She used to talk to me all the time. She was so attached to me. But nowadays, she hardly speaks to me. She gets angry very quickly, gets irritated over small things, and sometimes her mood changes within minutes. I don't know what is happening to her." Does this sound familiar? Have you also been wondering, where did my sweet child go? If your teenage son or daughter suddenly seems different, don't worry, you are not alone. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand what is happening inside a teenager's brain, you will stop reacting with frustration and start responding with understanding. And that one change can transform your relationship with your child. For nearly 3 decades, I have worked with students, parents, and teachers. One question I hear again and again is, "My child has changed. What happened?" Today, let us understand adolescence, not through myths or fear, but through science, psychology, and practical parenting. Because your teenager is not trying to make your life difficult. They are trying to understand themselves. Now, what is adolescence? Adolescence is the stage between childhood and adulthood. It is a period of rapid physical, emotional, social, and mental development. Think of it like renovating a house. During renovation, there is noise, dust, and temporary disorder before everything becomes stronger and more beautiful. The teenage brain is going through a similar renovation. Hormones increase, the body changes, the brain rewires itself, friendships become more important, identity begins to develop. All these changes happen almost at the same time. So naturally, teenagers may appear emotional, confused, or unpredictable. This does not mean something is wrong. It means development is happening. Now let us see, why do teenagers suddenly change? One of the biggest changes happens inside the teenage brain. There are two important parts of the brain that develop at different speeds. The first is the amygdala, a small structure deep inside the brain. Think of it as the brain's emotional center. It processes emotions like anger, fear, excitement, and frustration. The second is the prefrontal cortex, located just behind the forehead. This is the brain's chief executive officer. It helps us think before we act, control impulses, plan ahead, solve problems, and make thoughtful decisions. During adolescence, the amygdala becomes highly active, while the prefrontal cortex is still maturing. In fact, this part of the brain continues to mature into the mid-20s. That is why teenagers often react emotionally first and think later. This doesn't mean they are disrespectful or incapable of making good decisions. It simply means the brain systems responsible for self-control are still developing. So, when a small disagreement feels like a huge crisis to your teenager, remember, they are not pretending. Their emotional experience is genuinely intense. Another important change is hormonal development. Hormones influence emotions, energy levels, stress responses, and even sleep. Have you noticed that your teenager wants to stay awake late at night but struggles to wake up in the morning? Many parents think this is laziness, but there is a scientific reason. During puberty, the brain delays the release of melatonin, the hormone that signals it's time to sleep. As a result, teenagers naturally don't feel sleepy until much later at night. The problem is, school still starts early. Many teenagers don't get the 8 to 10 hours of sleep they need. Lack of sleep can make them more irritable, emotional, impulsive, and less able to concentrate. So sometimes what looks like a bad attitude is actually an exhausted brain. Another major task during adolescence is finding their identity. Teenagers begin asking themselves, who am I? Where do I belong? What do my friends think about me? That is why friendships suddenly become so important. Sometimes parents feel my child loves friends more than family. Usually that is not true. Your child still needs your love. They are simply learning to become independent. And sometimes independence looks like distance. The moment parents understand what is happening inside a teenager's brain, they stop asking, why is my child behaving like this? Instead, they begin asking, what does my child need from me right now? That single change in perspective can completely transform the parent-child relationship. Now let us discuss what parents should avoid. Understanding does not mean allowing disrespect. Teenagers still need guidance, boundaries, and responsibility. But the way we guide them makes all the difference. First, don't take every behavior personally. When your teenager says, leave me alone, or you don't understand me, it doesn't always mean they don't love you. Often, they are overwhelmed by emotions they don't yet know how to manage. Second, avoid labeling your child. Instead of saying, you are lazy or you have become impossible, try saying, I have noticed you have been upset. Is there something bothering you? Talk about the behavior, not the child's identity. Third, avoid comparisons. Comparing your child with siblings, cousins, or friends may change behavior temporarily, but it often damages confidence and trust. And finally, don't rush to solve every problem. Sometimes your teenager does not need advice. They simply need someone who listens. Always remember, correction without connection rarely works. Connection comes first. So, what parents can do instead? Here are 5 simple practices. Listen more than you speak. Allow your teenager to finish before giving advice. Stay calm during emotional moments. Your calmness helps your child feel emotionally safe. Spend quality time together. Even 10 minutes of undistracted time every day can strengthen your relationship. Appreciate effort, not just marks or achievements. Notice kindness, honesty, responsibility, and perseverance. Finally, keep communication open. Even if your teenager does not respond much today, don't stop showing up with patience and love. Many teenagers may not say it aloud, but they never forget the parent who stood beside them during their most confusing years. If your teenager has changed, don't panic. Adolescence is not a problem to be fixed. It is a phase to be understood. Your child does not need a perfect parent. They need a parent who is willing to understand before they judge. Now, I would love to hear from you. In the comments, tell me just one thing. What is the biggest challenge you are facing with your teenager right now? Is it anger? Lack of communication? Excessive mobile phone use? Study stress? Mood swings? Or something else? Write it in the comments. I personally read the comments and your questions may become the topic of my next video so that more parents can benefit. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with another parent and subscribe to 369 Unlimited You. In the next episode, we will discuss one question almost every parent asks. Why doesn't my teenager listen to me anymore? Until then, remember this. Behind every difficult behavior is an unmet need, an overwhelming emotion, or a developing brain trying to find its way. When we choose understanding over judgment, we don't just change our child's behavior, we strengthen our relationship with them. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay connected with your children, and I'll see you in the next video.